Hello, good evening. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all well in the group. And what a Wednesday, eh? Over 300 people joined this group in a week, which is just pretty amazing, isn't it? So we hit 1,000 members in the group, and on Monday, which was a brilliant way to start the week. And for that, we've organised some little gifts and some treats. So hopefully you've all seen the post about the jacket that you can enter and win, supplied by Springer's Personalised Products. I got my T-shirt rebranded to Pet Passion for Profit. Once again, thank you to Springer's Personal Products for that. Jenny is an incredible crafts lady with her sewing abilities, and she's kindly sponsored the prize of having that jacket as part of the prize draw. Oh, hold on. She's sponsored the prize for that, win the jacket, and she will, the lucky winner, supply Jenny with the logo, and if you wish, if you want to have your logo put on your jacket, and she will put that logo on your jacket for you. So make sure you enter that prize draw. We've got another little treat coming out probably tomorrow. We just got to get it signed off. GHS have kindly put together a little package for us, and we're gonna sort out some prices, and we've got a little promo code for you, so you can order some shampoos and some a little groomer pack, intro groomer pack. So we'll get details of that hopefully onto the group shortly, and then you can buy some new products for your groomers as we come out of lockdown. So hopefully that will be helpful. Just waiting for Laura. So tonight we're going to do a live with Laura Cook, all about the day she had the other day. She posted a win into the group about an amazing day that she had, and also about doing a little bit of costings for your business. She's going to talk about that as well. So, and we've got one more treat as well, and I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to let you wait for that one. Probably tell you on Friday what that treat is, but hopefully you'll be available on Saturday to watch it. Here's Laura now. Just connecting up. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing? Don't lie. You don't swear. You're on live on Facebook.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, jolly good. I think this is all working. Facebook's still streaming, so that's all good. How's your day been?
Busy.
Busy?
Really busy, but good, yeah.
Good. It's nice to be busy, isn't it?
Yes. After having so long where we haven't been, it's really nice to be busy, yeah.
That's it. And is it getting busier? Are you seeing that calls coming in and
Yeah, so I would say at the moment we're averaging 25 calls, 30 calls a day.
Wow. And how do you manage that? Do you sorry, I was going straight into like your business. I mean, it's interesting though, isn't it? Like, how do you manage all these phone calls? Because I know it's difficult for us, like,
it is. At the moment, I feel like I need to employ a receptionist or something, to be honest. It's really, really difficult. I'm using voice notes a lot where I don't have a spare hand, where I'm either driving or scissoring and I don't have a pen to hand. So I'm using voice notes a lot. And I'm just sort of obviously having a chat with the clients on the phone when they call. But at the moment, I'm asking them to just send me a text or a WhatsApp with all their details on, and I'm just saying to them that I will get back to you, but it won't be until this evening.
Yeah.
Because obviously I need to get on with the dogs and whatnot, and they're all fine with that.
Yeah, it just eats into your day, doesn't it? It eats into your evening.
It does. Like before you know it, like I'll take one phone, I'll stop a dog to take one phone call, and then before I know it, it's like half an hour later.
Yeah, yeah, because people like to chat as well, especially now if you've not seen a dog for so long. But are you finding a lot of your customers, obviously we talked about matting last time, are you finding that some of them are in a worse state than maybe you'd hoped, or?
No, to be honest, they've been pretty good. So we've carried on doing like our doodly types, because a lot of them are in very long teddy bear trims anyway. So they were never going to go months without having problems. So a lot of the ones that we would expect to be heavily matted, we've done them already.
We've not been so hot on that, but we're starting to see some customers coming in now, and they're completely sort of shaved off. And unfortunately today we had a bit of a customer that was surprised about that. But now this might be a classic that a lot of people see. It's certainly a classic that we've got used to, and it falls on a little bit of education from us, but we are getting better. We're trying to educate the customer as to your dog's going to get naked. as you know, like, this won't happen again because you said this is the result of your dog getting matted.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's about managing expectations as well, because I had a conversation with a customer today who was actually a new client of ours. We've never done her before. And she seemed petrified of us taking the dog short. And sort of having a chat with her, it all stemmed from the fact that she had obviously said to a groomer at some point in the past, I like my dog short. And that was the conversation. I like my dog short. And so they 7F this Maltese, and it looked like a little pink piglet. Like we all know that Maltese have got very thin coats, and you don't have to go that short before they look very bold. And this poor little thing looked like a little pink piglet, and the woman is now petrified of saying to a groomer short. And it's that conversation between what they think is short. You say to an owner short, they probably think that's like 2 inches of coat, whereas you say to us short, like our 10 blade is going, pick me like it's completely different.
You're right, and it is about having that conversation, but the situation we find is husband takes the dog in, we have that conversation,
and then somebody else picks it up.
Husband picks up and takes home, and wife gets very angry. And
it's really difficult when you've got different people dropping off and different people picking up. Really hard.
We've actually installed a CCTV camera in our reception area, which has got really crisp audio on it. And it's really interesting because we obviously had this complaint come in today, and Emma rewatched the CCTV of our member of staff explaining to the husband, it's very matted, it's all going to come off in 2 lumps, it's going to have to go very short, and he's literally walking around the reception sort of going, yeah, it's fine, sort of like not listening. And then he then has to pick up the pieces with the other half, and we find that happens so much.
And it is really difficult, and it's about being as clear as you can with your documentation as well. Like, I mean, it's great that you've got your CCTV with your audio. Obviously not a lot of people have that. If we did, it would make our lives a lot easier, but not everybody has that. Just make sure that you are explaining things in customer terms as well. So I don't tend to use like the terms like short or 7F or whatnot, because that clearly they don't understand that. So I tend to sort of say to them, the dog, this is where it comes from, where I say, look, your dog is going to be naked. Like they understand that. Or, you know, when you say you want your dog short, do you mean Labrador short, Whippet short? And then they'll suddenly go, oh no, I don't mean short. And just if they do agree to anything, just really, really clearly documenting everything down that you've discussed in their terms and reading it back to them as well. So before I take the dog off them, I'll say, okay, so we have discussed that your dog is matted in this place, that place, the other place, and you are agreeing that you are happy for me to make your dog extremely naked. Sign here, please. So, you know, they are signing to say that they have understood what I am going to do.
You know, you get into these situations, you're never going to win between the husband and wife bond. But again, we took photos of the pet. You know, we took photos of it being halfway. There was nothing else that could be done. It was so limited. There was no recovery. So
at the end of the day, as long as you've got your documentation, you've got your photos, if you've got your CCTV with your audio and stuff, brilliant. And that's what can you do? You've covered your back.
It's just funny whenever Emma comes home and says, "Oh, we've had an unhappy customer," and it always starts, "The husband brought it in." I know exactly what the story's going to be. I'm sure a lot of people all over the country watching this will, if they've not come across it yet, be wary. When
the other thing
dealing
to
with
do is
husbands,
I do tend to ask, are you the one that's going to be picking the dog up?
Or what we do sometimes is phone the wife once he's dropped off, just to double check.
Are you sure this is what you want?
Just to, so if you're new to grooming, keep an eye out on this one, because it does come back to bite you now and then, doesn't it?
Yes, a lot.
And going to your you know, really good problem, your good issue of being busy on the phone, have you ever considered like a virtual like PA or virtual assistant or anything like that? Have you looked into that?
No, because the way I work and the way I run my business is customers want to talk to me, or they want to talk to one of the girls, and they like the fact that they go, "Oh, it's Mr. Smith with Fluffy," and we go, "Oh, hello, how is Fluffy?" And you know, they like that, even if you haven't got a clue who Fluffy is, because you've got 27 Fluffies on your books. They want to feel that you know exactly who they are, that they're talking to somebody that knows them, that knows their dog, and it just makes them feel that little bit special and that little bit more valued as a customer. So it would be a lot easier to have, you know, like a virtual reception, virtual PA, you know, however it works. But I think that just wouldn't work for us. Not to say that it wouldn't work for other businesses, but just for us and our business model, I just don't think it's something that we would want to go down. I think we would lose that personal touch.
It's very difficult. We've gone way off topic or what we're supposed to talk about, but it's quite interesting for everyone. It's very difficult to make that leap and hire a receptionist. We have actually got a lady, and she's in this group, Kim, who will be starting with us in April, or hopefully when lockdown, and she's going to do reception. But you know, they're not money earners, are they? They're not doing the grooming.
No, it's in a way you kind of think, oh, they're not money earners, it's sort of dead money, as it were. But if that frees up the groomers to groom, then I know they're not directly bringing in money, but they're still bringing in money into the business, because they're making sure that your skilled stylists can actually do what you're paying them to do. Because you, at the end of the day, you're paying stylists to groom dogs, not sit and answer the phone.
Yeah, and exactly right. And you know, it's investing a bit in your business and investing in a receptionist or someone to answer your phone, someone who can upsell your products. So you know, it's a very good idea to have products to be able to sell to your customers. But if you haven't got the time to explain like teeth cleaning or other products you might be selling at the time, then you're not gonna do it, or you're not gonna be able to upsell, are you?
No, and sometimes having that one dedicated person to sort of deal with the customers is good, because you know, as you say, they do have the time, and I can't think of anything worse than if you're running a bit behind with a dog and you've got somebody else that's turned up that little bit early, and you've got the phone has been ringing off the hook, and you're feeling completely fried, and all you want to do is just grab that dog and take it in, but they want to stand there and have a half an hour conversation about Betty down the road, and you're just like, I just don't have time for this. And then sometimes you can come across as being a bit frustrated or a bit short with people, or you stand there and have that conversation and then you're running even further behind, which makes you feel even more frazzled. Whereas if you've got that dedicated sort of front of house person, they can stand there with every customer to a certain extent and have that chit chat, and you know, make them feel like you have time for them.
That's right. So you know, Kim's role is that customer experience manager, I suppose, rather than receptionist. That's probably a better term, isn't it? And she's going to be focusing on upselling the teeth cleaning, getting people onto direct debits for their scheduled grooming. You know, and then by putting people onto direct debit, they then phone less. So you then get less phone calls because all their appointments are booked in.
Yeah, and I love that system. I picked up that system probably about 10 months ago, where I mean, you can call it what you want, whether you call it VIP club or whatever. Ours is our Premier Pet Club, and all of their appointments are booked for the year. So they know exactly when their appointments are, what time the appointments are. They pay on the 1st of every month, and then, you know, it's like you say, it cuts down on those phone calls.
Yeah.
The other thing, which I know a lot of groomers are a little bit scared of, but it's something we've trialed with our the people who do our booking platform, and it's worked really well, is the online booking as well. And that massively cuts down on the amount of phone calls you have to deal with as well. And customers find it really convenient. And I know a lot of groomers are a little bit scared of not having the same control over the diary, but you know, you can set it so that you can approve bookings, and I'm sure all the different platforms have different ways of dealing with it. But again, if you're looking to potentially cut down the amount of phone calls you have to take because you're working on your own, or you know, something like that, then that's potentially another option.
Yeah, I'd be worried we turn up on a Monday morning, got 5 Newfoundlands booked in. You'd be like,
I was scared of that initially, but it does actually work really, really well.
Well, we've just tentatively put our foot in the water and starting to issue some customer portals with the system that we're using, and we've had some good feedback. But again, it's that time to set it all up, and then I suppose being able to play with the online platform to see if we can get it to work to how we want it to work. So that's interesting. But yeah, there's certainly options out there for people, aren't there, who are busy, maybe working on their own, or have just got a couple of them. You know, there's all-day PA, stuff like that, or there's online booking, or you're picking up your messages at the end of the day. It's just every business is different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all individual, and what works for one person is not necessarily going to work for the next, and it's just about looking at all the options you have available to you and working out what suits you and your business.
Yeah, definitely. So you posted probably a week or so now about a great day that you had. Everything went to plan. So
yeah, one of those golden days.
Yeah, everyone was impressed. So let's hear about it. How did you get this day to work out?
So it's one of those days where I mean, a couple of people on there commented about you know, that it's unrealistic and things like that, and I think it's not unrealistic because I've just done it. So but what I want people to be aware of is this is not something that I do every single day. And it's one of those things that potentially has got the you know, there's every chance it could go horrifically wrong as well, and it has done on occasion as well. So, you know, I don't want people thinking that I've just like waved a magic wand and everything's just like, every day, because it's not. But this particular day, my first dog, I started grooming at 9 in the morning. And my last dog, I finished, it was something like 4:45, 10 to 5 in the evening. And in that time, I did 8 dogs. They were all full grooms. And again, it was a week ago, so I'm trying to remember what it was now, but it was over £400 for the day. I think it was something like 430 something. And that was just me on my own, just one groomer answering the phone 50 bloody times. It wasn't meant as a post to show off or to sort of make people go, you should be doing this. It was just to show you that if you plan it right, you know, you can get days like this. It's like you with your what was it, chihuahuas, was it? Little, it was chihuahuas, yeah. You know, yeah, all that money from 2 little weeny dogs that you'd be thinking, God, they're not going to make me any money, you know. So it just goes to show that if you put the thought in and if you plan it, you can do these things. And so these dogs, they were a mixture. 2 of them were like little papillon cross, like little things. One was a Shih Tzu, one was like a terrier type. I think she's got some Shih Tzu in there. I think she's got some Chihuahua in there. She's just like a little mix. There was I think it was a cocker. It was a cocker, and then a golden doodle and a labradoodle. So straight away you've got 2 quite big dogs in there, and the golden doodle, it's a horse. It's massive. It's like the size of a pony. So it's just about looking at the dogs you have, how you're going to book them in order to sort of maximize your day, really. So 2 of the dogs did come from the same home. So those are the two little papillons. So straight away I'm thinking, right, well, they're small, they're well behaved. I do know, that's the other thing to point out, is all of those 8 dogs, I know them. I've been grooming them a long time. So it's not something I would do with dogs I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's just trying to work out like little ways of booking your diary, little ways of trying to save time.
But not only that, is when you become more experienced, you become more efficient as well, don't you?
Yeah.
And you know how, you know.
And that's probably where I'm going with it, in the fact that like it doesn't mean that I'm super fast because I've done 8 dogs. Like, I am quite a quick groomer, but I'm not fast.
Yeah.
But it's things like all of those dogs are, again, it's what we said on the live last time, all of those dogs are on a 6-week or less schedule. So I know they are not going to come in knotty, they are not going to come in matted, they're not going to come in overgrown. I know the dogs are well behaved. I know exactly what kind of haircut they have because they've had the same haircut for the last 3, 4, 5 years. And so I know that I can book those dogs back to back and sort of shave that little bit of time off here and there. And it's things like with the 2 little papillons, because I've got the 2 from the same house and you know, they are well behaved, they go in the bath together. And because I've got my routine, I will shampoo them both, then I will condition them both, then I'll sort of chamois them both, then I'll get them both on the table, then I'll dry them both together. Then, you know, the nail clippers come out, I will do all of the nails. I'll then do all of the pads, all of the hygienes, all of the ears. And it's just little things like that, which you don't think twice about it, but it does shave off that little bit of time. And like those 2 Papillons, for example, that's 2 full grooms, and they were done in an hour, under an hour.
And it's that consistency that we talked about last time, and it's something that we try and teach our staff. You know, having that routine where you go from one foot to the other, do all the nails, do the hygiene, and then if you do get distracted, you know where you're at, so you can go straight back into it.
Yeah.
And you know what you have done, you know that things don't get missed, and then that makes it better for your customers as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially like at the moment, like we were saying, where the phone is ringing all the time, and you've got potentially a lot of distractions. It is really easy to forget to chop that dew claw, or, you know, just something like that. And, you know, owners will pick up on it, and then, you know, then you potentially have got like a complaint or an unhappy customer or whatnot. But also, I think if you have a really good routine and you're seeing these dogs regularly, they know what to expect as well, and they will stand better for you because you have that really solid routine, and they know your routine, they know what's going to happen, they know the drill. And so if you, like we've spoken about this before, well-behaved dogs are infinitely quicker to groom than silly dogs.
That's right. So be picky with your customers.
Yeah. And like I've got, so like today I only groomed 3 dogs today. Because 2 of the dogs were enormous, and one of the dogs is not particularly cooperative. So he needs that extra time. But again, it's important that if you are doing less dogs, you need to make sure you charge it accordingly for it. So in my head, like I've done 2 standard poodles today. They're big dogs, they're in longer haircuts. In my head, when I'm working out sort of my figures and my targets and what I need to work out, in my head I'm working on that being 2 dogs. Because I know they're going to take me twice as long, but I also know I'm going to charge twice as much, you know, because of what they have. So in my head, I'm thinking that's 2 dogs, that dog is 2 dogs, that dog is worth 2 dogs. So if you look at my figures, like from a money point of view, I've done the equivalent of 6 today, even though I've actually only groomed 3. But it's also about like upselling as well. Again, going back to your packages that you do, it's about you know, maximizing the amount of money that each customer is going to spend with you as well. Like that 400 odd quid that I took the other day, that was not just from a groom. You know, it's having those extra ways to sort of just eke that little bit extra money out of your customers each time as well. And
it's not a dishonest thing, because, you know, like we said about those dogs with the teeth, I wanted to concentrate on how much the customer was so happy because we had managed to save him lots of money on the vet's fees, and those dogs' teeth will be looking really nice and really good, and the gums will become really healthy again, you know, once we've finished all the treatments. So it's about selling the result, isn't it? It's selling the results to the customer. And it's making the customer well informed as well. You know, like the majority of customers don't understand that giving a dentist stick to their dog once a fortnight is not going to look after their teeth. They don't understand that. So by educating them about the, you know, the EmiPet or the Cleany teeth, or even just normal brushing and the teeth gels and whatnot that's available, just by educating them and saying that, you know, this sort of teeth cleaning routine should be part of the dog's routine, you know, well-being treatments. So the teeth cleaning is something I sell a lot. And, you know, my big thing really is, I say to the customers, really, every time your dog is groomed, it should also be having its teeth cleaned as well. And that's a minimum. You know, if you can do it at home as well on a daily basis, great. But as a minimum, we should be doing, you know, a professional clean on it every, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, or however often they come in. And people say, oh, what do you mean? We only take the dog's to the vets to have their teeth cleaned once a year, and we're like, how often do you clean your teeth?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's that they need to realize, you know, that it is prevention. You know, if you don't clean your teeth for a year, then you know you're going to have to go and have teeth out. I think it's where as dog owners, and we're all guilty of it, I know I certainly have been in the past, you just you don't know what you don't know, and if nobody takes the time to educate you, you know, when you do go to take your dog for the vaccinations once a year and they go, oh yeah, your dog's going to need some teeth out, you just kind of think of it as a, oh okay, yeah, well that's what happens to dogs, you know, every now and again they need some teeth out, rather than sort of trying to educate people that if you do these various things, it then either prevents it becoming a problem at all, or you know, it prolongs the need for them to be knocked out and have sort of more invasive, more expensive procedures. And vets are not going to, you know, I can say this, I have a lot of good friends that are vets, but vets are not going to turn around and go, oh no, we don't need to do that this time. You can just go home and brush your teeth. You know, they're going to say, yeah, that's fine, bring it in, we'll scale and polish.
We do have some vets, and I don't quite know who they are at the moment, because obviously the customers don't always tell us, but we do have some older dogs that the vets say, actually, we don't want to put the dog under anaesthetic, and they do actually refer them to us, which I think,
yeah, I get that a lot as well, and it's because, you know, at the end of the day, that dog is a major anaesthetic risk, and although you know, if you leave teeth in the mouth and they are in bad condition and they do rot, you know, that has its own problems. You've got to weigh up, you know, which is more likely to finish that dog off first, its teeth or knocking it out under a general anaesthetic. And you know, we, you know, even with the ultrasound cleaning, you know, you can't get rid of everything if it's got to that stage. But you can help, you can make the dog a bit more comfortable, you know, and the owners feel then like they're you know, they're trying to do the best for their dog, you know, but they don't want to knock it out. And I was in the same situation where my dog last year, she had to have a couple of teeth out for other reasons, and we were sort of in that situation where we were like, she's 17, do we do it, do we not do it, you know, and the vet was the same, like don't know, you know, and it's a tough decision to make when they're older.
Yeah, and on the flip side of things, we've had dogs come in for teeth cleaning appointments. We've actually found broken molars and stuff, and it's like, got to go to the vet, I'm afraid, but we found it. And we've had dogs come in that you know, they've had their teeth cleaned and stuff, and then the owners are saying, it's eating again. You know, you've done something so well, you've cleaned its teeth, and you've removed some of that pain and discomfort. The dog's actually eating again. So it's been, I
think the thing is that because owners look at their dogs every day, they don't always notice those really small changes in their behavior or their appetite, and then when something is done to make it better, they suddenly see that change in the dog and they're like, oh, well, you know, what's happened to my dog? He's running around like a puppy again, or you know, whatever. And it's, you know, it's then when they realize how bad it potentially was.
We've got some questions coming in for yourself, so
we've gone way off topic, haven't we?
But it's nice to just have a chat about stuff, isn't it? Because, you know, you don't go to your groomers down the road, or you might, but you probably don't, or these guys and girls don't go and knock on the groomers down the road and go, oh, hi, how you doing? Do you fancy a chat about grooming? Because normally you'd be like, no, go away. So
I wish more people did that. In my area, I straddle two counties, so I'm actually in two Facebook groups, one for Berkshire and one for Oxfordshire. And both groups are actually really lovely and really supportive. And I think any one of the groomers in my area, you could just turn up and go, do you fancy a cup of tea and a natter? And they're all really, really supportive around here, which is really nice.
It's good, because that's how you're going to develop your business, and that's how you're going to grow. You're getting those ideas from each other. So
like we had a groomer the other day that you know, something happened and she couldn't groom, and there was loads of people going, well, do you want me to pop over to your salon and groom some dogs for you, or, you know, somebody's blaster breaks and everybody's on there going, oh, I've got something you could use, or, you know, it's really nice to have that support.
Yeah, because it is a lonely place. But Sandra has asked, what online booking system do you use?
Are we allowed to say?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So I use Savvy.
Yeah. I've got Lisa coming up in a week's time, actually, talking about.
It's really good. It's really, really helpful. So I've trialed a couple, and for various reasons, Savvy works for me, and the technical support is brilliant. They're really, really good. They will always bend over backwards to try and fix something for you. It does take a little bit of getting used to, and I am not the most technical person. I can just about work my phone, but now I've got used to it. It is really simple to use, and it does a lot for you. So that's who I use, but there are a lot out there. Again, it's just working out what suits you.
I probably pester them a lot on their help support quite a bit. It's like, oh, it's him again.
Yeah, I think they do that with me too. They're like, oh God, it's her again. Let's all pretend we're on holiday or something.
Vicky, this was quite a good question, actually. So Vicky's saying, should you book your diary primarily with what suits you rather than your customers? And I was going to talk about this because people want to know how much you should be earning per hour and how many dogs is that going to be. But I think it's more creative than that. It's a bit like a jigsaw, isn't it? That dog's going to take that long. Yeah. One will fit in there. And
so obviously it's about making money and making as much money as possible. But also it's about longevity. You know, I've been doing this a long time. I do have aches and pains and creaks and you know, so I need to book my diary to suit me. If I book loads of big dogs in a day, I'll be crippled the next day. And I know in one of my old salons, I think there are a couple of girls on here that used to work for me in one of my old salons, and they would all laugh when I do big dogs and I would have to shout and be like, I'm stuck and my back's gone. And they'd have to come in and get the dog out the bath for me or something. So you need to make sure that you primarily are booking for you. So I don't ask my customers when they want to come. I tell them what appointments I have, and I might have a gap tomorrow. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to tell them that. Because if I've got loads of big dogs and somebody rings up and says, I've got a Newfoundland, I'm going to say, I've got an appointment next Tuesday. You know, and I'm not necessarily going to offer them that appointment tomorrow because I'm thinking, well, I've already got loads of really big dogs in, or hand strips, for example. You don't want a whole day of hand stripping or a whole day of hand scissoring or a whole day of dogs that are a bit annoying.
Barking.
Yeah, because you're going to go home and you're going to have to get the vodka out or something, you know. So you've got to book for you. You've got to think, right, how many dogs am I capable of doing a day, but also what type of dog? Like, you know, if you've got dog after dog after dog that is going to really test your patience, by the time you get to that last dog of the day, mentally you are not going to be in the right place to groom that dog. You know, and it's making sure that you're booking for your mental health, for your physical health, and also to make money as well. So yeah, book for you. Obviously you don't want to make your customers wait too long, but also sometimes if they think that they can call at the drop of a hat and you're like, oh yeah, I've got an appointment at 2 o'clock this afternoon, that doesn't always go in your favor either, because they can mess you about a little bit as well. So yeah, book for you first.
So I always listen to my wife Emma and her staff Chloe and Morgan, and it is always a constant conversation. You know, we've got this dog here. You know, so Mrs. So and so wants their dog in. Can we squeeze it in here? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you've always got that financial target in your mind.
Yeah.
You know, we're looking at around £800 a day. Can we do that? We have a cat day. This cat will do there, and that. It's not a 9 o'clock. We used to have like 5 in the morning, 5 in the afternoon, but
Yeah.
now it's more scattered around the day. And
and it's also like you might get somebody phone up and they've got, I don't know, a staffy, you know, and you think, well, actually I'm full tomorrow, but how long does a staffy take? You know, like I could easily squeeze that in somewhere else at the same time as something else, and it doesn't mean that you're having loads of dogs in at once or you're not giving that dog the attention it needs, but you know, staffies take 30 seconds. So yeah, you just need to know your capabilities and book for your capabilities. So I know a couple of ladies commented on my post saying, well, I wouldn't want to do that, I would only want to do 5 dogs a day, and like that's absolutely fine. Like, don't do more than you want to do, don't do more than you can do. Yeah. But also don't be afraid to push yourself a little bit sometimes as well. It's knowing your dogs that's the big thing. It's like, it's knowing your customers. Like, you're never going to try and squeeze a dog in if you've never seen it before. No. And it turns that hooligan.
Yeah, you want that introduction, don't you? But going back to that point about you're saying about you know, you might not want to do that many dogs, but you've also got to look at how much money you want to make. So if you're not wanting to do a volume of dogs, are your prices reflective of that? And are you pricing your...
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where it goes back to knowing how much you need to charge, because this is how much it costs for me to keep my business open. So I know I base my figures off X amount of days a week, X amount of hours a day. And I also know roughly, if we're talking like average size dog, average temperament, average haircut, I know I can do between 5 and 8 dogs a day. If you know you can only do 3 dogs a day, then you still need to be factoring that in, because you need to think, right, well, it's costing me X amount of pounds to open that front door. So if I only want to work till 1 o'clock, that's fine, but you need to factor that in. If you want to open from 9 till 5, but in that time, your experience level or whatever, you can only do 3 dogs, then again, you still need to be factoring that in, and you need to be charging appropriately. And if you're not getting it, and this is, again, where we went back to the conversation we had last time, was if you're not charging appropriately, you have to do more dogs. Like, you don't have a choice, and you have to do those dogs that are annoying, or you have to deal with those customers that are annoying, because you can't afford not to.
That's it. And if you find that you're really busy, but your profit, or you know, you're really busy but you're not actually making any money, then that's a big indication that you're not charging enough.
Yeah, and I think that is the quickest way to hate your job.
Yeah, burn out.
But I think anyone in this group who says that they've never done a job they hate is lying. I've done loads of jobs that I really hate. And when you look at it, you spend the majority of your time at work. So let's do something at work that we actually enjoy. But you've got to make money out of it, because if you come home at the end of the day and you've worked from sun up till sundown, your back is aching, your wrists are aching, you're really tired, and you can't pay your bills, you're going to very quickly resent having to do the work and having to do the dogs. Whereas if you come home and, okay, you've had a busy day and you're a bit knackered and whatnot, but your bills are being paid and you're earning an appropriate amount of money, it doesn't seem so bad. So it's about, you know, we all do this job because we love to groom and we love the animals, but so many groomers, I think, go sour because they're not charging appropriately, and they're killing themselves trying to do all these dogs when they need to do a few less dogs and charge a bit more.
That's it. And have you got experience of working in a home environment, working from your own home, or I know you do mobile. How do you work out your charges for, or your costings for mobile grooming?
So exactly the same as in a salon. It doesn't matter what your setting is. It doesn't matter whether you work from a garden room or a pod or a room in your house. It doesn't matter whether you're an in-house groomer where you go and groom dogs in other people's houses. Doesn't matter if you're mobile. Doesn't matter if you're salon based. It doesn't matter. So all you need to do is work on the same basis, where you need to work out every single penny that needs to be spent for that business, and that is how you work it out. So for a salon, you're going to have rent, you're going to have gas, you're going to have electric, you're going to have water, you're potentially going to have business rates and things like that. In a van, you're not going to have that, but you are going to have potentially rent or lease on a van, or finance payments on a van. You're going to have fuel, which is obviously a big cost for a mobile groomer. You're going to have to put tyres on that van. You're going to have to get it serviced. You're going to have to get it MOT'd. You're going to have maintenance. You also need to factor in that if you, prime example, last week, went to get in the van, start motor went.
Yeah, you got a day's worth of work. Yeah.
That's not only is that money that is you've got to pay out to fix the van, that's also then a day's wages that you've lost. So, and you've got to try and fit those dogs in somewhere else.
So let's just sort of break this down. So if you're if you've got a year's worth of experience, you've run your own business for a year, you can then start calculating those costs, can't you, by working out how many days of the year you worked. You work out your how much that van cost you in maintenance for that year, and then start dividing that down, and then you can start adding that to your.
So you can do it when you start out as well. You don't sort of need to have a year under your belt to do it, but you just need to you need to just make a list, sit down and either write it out or do it on a spreadsheet or however you want to do it. Just sit down and write it out, and you do need to think as small as fragrance sprays, as toilet rolls, like we said last time, like who's buying your toilet rolls? You need to factor that in. So you need to think about sharpening. You need to think about if you drop a 30 blade on the floor, that's got to be replaced. You need to think about all your maintenance of your equipment, replacing your equipment. You've got to think about advertising costs. You've got to think about insurance. You've got to think about if you've got staff, there are various costs associated, wages, uniforms, paying their national insurance contributions, all these sorts of things that come out of their wages. That's all got to be factored in. You've got to think about your tax bills, every single thing. So like a couple of people have private messaged me saying, "Oh, can you give me some advice?" And I've said, right, the first thing I do is say, write down a list of expenses for your business. And somebody came to me the other day and they didn't have shampoo on their list. And it's so easy to miss something like that though. Yeah. Like a really common one is phone. They miss the phone off. Or they don't factor in things like sharpening and repairs. They'll go, "Oh, my sharpening bill is X amount a month," and I'm like, "Right, but what about replacements?" And they go, "Oh, my equipment's brand new." Well, yeah, but you still have to put money aside because at some point that is going to break. And
if you don't have equipment, you can't work, can you?
No. So you need to think about all of that. You then need to start thinking about, right, well, these are all my personal expenses, so this is what I need to earn. Then you need to start thinking about, again, your tax bills. So you need to put money aside for that. You also need to put money aside just for like savings, for I don't know, a rainy day or whatever, something goes wrong, you need to have a cushion for that, for that thing to go wrong. And then you've got to start thinking about breaking it down into you know, again, like we said last time, I don't want to work 52 weeks a year. Most people do their calculations off 52 weeks a year. You can't. Most people go, oh, well, 7 days a week. Who wants to work 7 days a week? They don't factor in bank holidays. Do you want to work bank holidays? Do you not want to work bank holidays? You know, and then you've got to break it down into days and then the amount of hours you want to work. And it's just, you know, it needs to be every step of the way. You just need to be as accurate and as detailed as you possibly can. You're better off having too much detail than not enough.
And I think this comes back to our bookkeeping lesson, doesn't it? And our accounts lesson that's coming up. It's about, you know, not waiting till the end of the year to work, have your bag of receipts and go, what have I spent? You know, doing this weekly, monthly, at the very least, spreadsheets.
And the good thing these days is there's so many apps. Like most of the people on here have mentioned, oh, I use QuickBooks, or I use Xero, or I use Sage, or whatever. There's no excuse these days not to go and put fuel in and snap the receipt straight away, and then it's done.
I would have a health advisory. I have managed to mess up our QuickBooks account big time.
I have too.
So you know, I royally fell for all the adverts on QuickBooks. You know, just get a receipt and slap it away. And now we've come back and we've probably overpaid our VAT bill by about £1,800. Well, it's a good savings account, maybe, but you know, get some advice and get some training, I think is
yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not very tech savvy at all, and I've cocked it up a couple of times. But again, once you know how to use it, they are relatively simple. Or you could do what I'm doing, which is go, do you know what? I'm really bad at that bit. I don't really understand how to use this software. I'm just going to pay somebody else to do it. And I've just got an accountant. And so from the new financial year, basically everything is just going in the post. It's going to the accountant, and I don't have to think about it because I'm too busy trying to groom dogs and deal with customers to then, the last thing I want to do on a Friday night at 9 o'clock is sit down and start going through receipts and things like that. So
that's it. You know, I was very much, over the years, I've tried to do everything. You know, I've tried to build websites, I've tried to write brochures, I've tried to do handbooks. It never happened. It never actually got to the final product. And then, you know, paying other people, yes, you obviously got to spend the money, but it pays off. It pays off.
Yeah, you've got to look at it as an investment in your business, haven't you? I think a lot of the time we're almost scared to spend money, especially when you're starting up. And I think sometimes you have to look at it and go, right, I'm not spending this money. It's me investing in myself or investing in my business. It's freeing me up to do something else, or I'm paying this person because that is their particular area of expertise and they are very good at what they do. So it's just about investing in your own business, really. But it's just one thing is just not to be scared of it. Like, I know I'm one of them as well. Like, you start talking about tax and accounts and things like that, and everyone gets a bit jittery. But if you just think, oh, well, I don't like that side of it, so I'm just going to ignore it.
It's going to cost you money.
Yeah, it never works. And then you're really stressed at the end of the financial year because you're trying to submit accounts or something and you haven't got a clue what you're doing and you've lost a receipt from 10 months ago and whatnot. So just don't be scared of it.
Let's embrace, like, there was a big discussion about VAT on the group and in other Facebook groups the other day. You know, let's face the facts, right? Tax is there. Tax is essential. You have to pay tax. I'm a big believer in tax. You know, we've just gone through, the NHS really needs some money right now. Paying tax means you're making money. Paying tax means your business is successful. Going through the VAT barrier means you're being successful. And you need to go through it and carry on going through it to make it worthwhile. I think we kind of looked at other people and they sort of said, oh, don't do it. But if you do it and go through it,
just one of those things, isn't it? It's just, you know, as your business grows and as your business becomes more successful, it's just one of those things that it has to be done. It's there. It is what it is. you just got to get on with it.
I spoke to a few groomers that were like, oh, my business is like, it's hitting the VAT threshold and I'm trying to hold it back, but it's not really allowing me to. And I'm like, just let it go and make sure you drive it and make sure you drive it through. Smash the VAT was the motto. But what I was going to say was, yes, we have to pay tax, but the government is also a bit business friendly because they want you to pay tax. So there are incentives out there, you know, self-employed, you do pay lower rates of tax and lower rates of national insurance. There are tax schemes out there like limited companies. There's ways to get your money out of your company, like pensions and dividends. So there are ways, if you embrace the tax system and liaise and speak to your accountant, there are ways to make it work for you as well. Legal ways.
And I think this is one thing that I am looking forward to having an accountant, is because they are the experts, they do know all these different things, and you know, how you can get money out of your business and how to make tax work for you and how to make, you know, how to make your business work for you. And I think a good accountant will pay for themselves in the money that they save you.
Most definitely, most definitely. So I think that's a really good lesson. And you know, there's someone on the comments, Adele's saying, any tips for a new business owner? I've been grooming for 6 years now, just left the company to open my own high street shop. Anything you do differently if you could go back? For me, it would be get help, you know, put these things in place to help you. I know it's difficult to begin with, but it will pay off. By yourself.
Be realistic. And when I say be realistic, I don't mean that in a negative way either. So I think you need to be, you know, again, you need to be aware of all of your overheads, all of your costs. You need to be realistic in what you need to earn from the get-go. You know, you don't want to be open and then after 3 or 4 months go, oh, I'm not earning enough, I need to put my prices up. You know, work it out now, be realistic now. So as soon as you open, your prices are there, you know exactly how much you need to earn, you know exactly what you need to charge. And it's about being honest with yourself and having those conversations with yourself rather than going, oh, I just want to pat puppies all day in my shop. You know, it's like I said to you, didn't I, in that message I sent to you earlier, it's amazing how as groomers we think running a business is just about grooming. Right. And such a small percentage of running a grooming business is actually grooming. So I do think you need to be really realistic as a new business owner, but I think you also just need to be brave. Like there's a lot of times that I wish I'd just been that bit braver, and not silly with it, but just be a bit braver and push yourself a little bit more and put yourself out there, and be braver to have those conversations with customers, be braver to go, well, this is what I'm worth, this is what I need to charge, so that is my price.
Yeah, and be willing to say no. If that customer fit with you, then say no. Don't compare your prices to others. Don't start your prices off from other people. And watch the imposter syndrome video. That I think that's quite a good one to
started watching that this morning actually when I was walking the dog, and I only saw the first half of it, but it was really, really good, and it's something that I will be finishing tomorrow when I'm walking the dog.
No, it's something to be aware of if you don't suffer from imposter syndrome, but it's something to be aware of because you might realize you do. And I've certainly had it throughout my life where there's been times where I've suffered from it. So once you're aware of it, you can deal with it, can't you? And it will help you. The next one, up to you if you want to answer it. Someone's asking, how many customers do you have on your books? We've got about 1,400, I believe, roughly.
I would say it's a bit difficult at the moment because we've got two sides of it. And obviously at the moment with COVID and everything, it's all a bit complicated. I would say at the moment, we probably have about 700.
And they're always going to be fluctuating as well, aren't
yeah,
they?
of course, yeah. And just because you've got a customer on your books, they might be a once a year Labrador
yeah,
or
Christmas,
something, you know.
Christmas Labrador.
Yeah, Christmas Labrador.
that big rush. So Emma Emma Shanks has asked, how do you work out your wage at the end of the week? We've been in a situation where our bather is getting a higher weekly wage because we are scared of digging deep into the profit.
Sorry, Emma, are you the business owner and you're paying your bather a wage?
Yeah, sounds like it.
So I would say you're not working out your costs properly then, because first and foremost, before you employ anybody, you need to be taking a wage and you need to be earning what you need to earn. So I would be saying that you need to work out how much it costs you to open your salon door. You need to be working out how much your personal costs are, so you have an idea of, right, I need to earn this much, so I need to take X amount out of the business a year or a month or a week or however you're going to work it out. Only when you're doing that should you be thinking about employing other staff. And obviously I know there is always going to be that slight moment where you need to take somebody on, but there potentially isn't quite enough work just yet because there's only just been you. So there is going to be a slight dip. But also I would sort of need to know a little bit more about the situation to answer that.
Are you self-employed or limited company? I know she's listening. She just typed yes, but you know, if you're self-employed, you're going to be paying tax on all that money anyway.
Yeah.
Profit or not profit. You obviously remember you got that tax-free limit as a wage of 12. I think it's about £12,500.
Yeah.
Take, but also as a limited company, you know, you can be an employee of your company, and you could just set yourself, I'm going to take X amount of money per month, and then make sure.
So for example, I'm a limited company. I'm self-employed. I'm a limited company. I imagine she is too. If she's employing somebody, then she probably is a limited company too. But I pay her
a partnership, 2 groomers and 1 bather. That's like a sole.
Okay, but are the 2 partners? I'm assuming they are a limited company, and they are. I mean, I'm a limited company and I'm PAYE.
Yeah.
So if Emma, I don't know, if Emma wants to PM me or something, I can maybe talk through it a bit better, but without knowing a bit more about your situation, it's a bit difficult. If you've got the 2 partners that are grooming together, and then you've got a bather, then either your business is not busy enough to require a bather, or you're you've got something wrong in your calculations there, because as your 2 partners, you should be earning without a bather. And then if you're bringing your bather in, that's because, you know, potentially you're getting into the stage where you're too busy and you need to create extra time by giving the prep to somebody else. I'm a bit, without knowing a few more specific details about your situation, Emma, it's a bit tricky to.
I was just wondering, I've just sent Emma a link to the Zoom call, and I wondered if she was able to come on.
Yeah.
This is proper techie, this is.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, my mind's blown with this already. I'm like,
Emma, if you're there, and
I don't know what's going on anymore.
I'm going to get my Ouija board out. Emma, if you're there, come and join the call. Emma, I've sent you a message. If you're there and you can join the Zoom call, I've sent you a link, and maybe you can talk about it. It's up to you. But she's just commented saying 2 groomers, about 20 dogs a day. So, you know, the business is there. The volume appears to be there. So it comes down to your basics. Pricing maybe, and you know, yes, you've got profit, but I don't know how.
The problem is you can do 20 dogs a day and be charging £10 a dog.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, if they are doing 20 dogs a day between two stylists and a bather, then there is something seriously wrong with your pricing.
But I think one of the key elements was she said she didn't want to go into her profit. So, you know,
if you're making profit, that's what it's there for. You know, your profit is there to pay that wage and whatnot. And by paying that wage, okay, to start with, you're going to be eating into your profit, but that bather is then, it's like we said about the receptionist, isn't it? Okay, they're a lower skill set than a stylist, but they are giving the stylist time. You know, you don't need to be a stylist to wash a dog, but she can be doing all the washing and whatnot, which means you're going to get through more dogs a day, which means you're going to bring more money into the business. So don't be scared of, it's like we said earlier, don't be scared of spending the money. You've got to spend money to make money. Yeah,
definitely. And then it opens up your mindset, and all of a sudden, you know, you're not stressed about your accounts. You're not stressed about, you know, the phone going crazy. You can get on with your day job and work through it. We'll leave Emma if she can't work it out. Maybe I'll grab a live with her and see if we can work through those issues. And Vicky again asked about costs when working from home, and I think I need to ask Vicky, our accountant, about this as to what percentage you can claim for your electricity, gas and water, and you're definitely not going to be getting your mortgage through your business.
Yeah, I think it depends on like how much area of your home. Like I know you can claim, for example, you can claim an office space in your home and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that's probably a question for an accountant, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I think that is all the questions. I think we've tied up. I think we've covered a lot of topics tonight, haven't we, really? We've done quite well. Vicky,
I don't know, mate, I think we've gone off tangent a bit, but I think it was still full of useful information.
Packed with value for everyone, and I'm sure people will watch this. And again, I'll put this onto YouTube so people can watch it, and then you can pull the video off YouTube for your own purposes if you want to use that. And you know, maybe this becomes a regular monthly thing. Chat with Laura.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
There's only so many.
I can sit here and waffle for an hour.
No, I think we've put the worlds to rights tonight over a lot of things. So thanks a lot for. I don't think Emma's going to join us. She probably can't work it out. But
another time.
Yeah, we'll sort that out. We'll try and see if we can help you out, Emma. But yeah, it's been great speaking to you. And we've got another one tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We've got Vicky, the pet accountant, on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So yeah, that's, oh, hold on. Emma has entered the room.
Oh.
There you go, look at this. She's just connecting to audio. This is almost as good as television. Oh, Emma, you didn't connect to audio. Try again. Hey, can you hear us? Can you hear us? You need to try and connect to audio again. Don't work with people and animals and children.
Or groomers.
Or groomers. There you go. It's trying to connect to audio again. Hopefully this time. There you go. You're muted now. You're mute.
The wonders of technology.
Kai, how can you've done the whole lockdown using Zoom?
Hey. I'm so not good with this.
Don't worry, none of us are. That's why we groom dogs.
That's a nightmare. Yeah.
What's going on then?
So we have a very successful Northern Ireland dog grooming business. It's a partnership. Me and my partner started it up about 3.5 years ago. So it was just getting to the capacity where there was too many dogs coming in. I was the groomer, my partner was the bather. I trained him up to groom. So we had to bring in our bather.
Yeah.
So her hourly rate, she's fantastic. She does everything. She cleans, she baths. everything. I'm teaching her now to clip. So she's getting her hourly rate. With the hours that we're doing, she's coming out with a higher wage than what I'm taking and what my partner's taking at the moment.
So what's she earning hourly?
£9 an hour.
Okay. And how many hours is she doing?
How many hours? About 35.
So, and how many hours are you doing?
35. The same.
You
We
do-
bring her to and from work, so the same hours, but she's getting a good lot of profit compared to us, or profit wage.
And are you,
Your can I just ask, sorry, your £9, whatever it is an hour, is that net or gross?
Nah.
Is that what she took? That's so okay.
so are you limited company or are you sole trader?
Sole trader.
Sole trader, yeah. So do you mind saying how much you're earning an hour, or how much
Like
you earn?
250 a week.
Sorry, 150 a week.
350 a week.
Sorry, 350,
250.
250.
But then there's two of us. I
So
think this is where we're panicking, because it's a partnership, but it's also a partnership outside of work.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're taking a joint wage, if you know what I mean, and she's getting her wage. There is profit being made,
Mhm.
which I'm scared to dip into. I just don't know how to work out a wage. Like, do you do it hourly? Do you do it?
So we used to, so when we first started, we used to work out how many days each person worked per month, and then work out their hourly rate. And you know, that just got really complicated. So we went onto a salaried. So we salaried everyone.
That's that wage.
So we just took their wage and divided it by 12, and that's what they get per month, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that how you? That's what must be how Pets at Home would have done it, Laura.
I wouldn't like to hazard a guess as to how they work out their payroll, to be honest. I know things would be advertised for a stylist as an hourly rate, but the salon managers were salaried. I think sometimes it comes down to a case of overthinking things as well. I think once you start working out hourly rates and this, that, and the other, I think it is a much better way to do it the way Bill's doing it, where it's you are salaried, that's what you get each month. Because I think sometimes you just overthink things a little bit too much if you start breaking it down into every single hour that they're working. And again, you've got to sort of think about the value that they're bringing into the business. Like you say, you're starting to train her to groom as well as bath.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're not paying her any more money for that, though, I assume.
No, she did start at £8 an hour, and she's with the grooming and things, she's went up to £9 an hour. Over here, a full groomer would get £10 an hour.
Okay, so I think you need to sort of again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier, where you sort of need to invest in the business to get money out of the business. Obviously, if she's just bathing, then you know, she's still bringing money in, even though she, you know, you're still doing the same amount of dogs at the moment, but you know, when she can clip and do things like that, you know, she's freeing up you to potentially do more complicated haircuts, which you're going to charge more for, or you know, it means that she could potentially, as well as bath your dog, she could, I don't know if you pre-clip or whatever, you know, she can get your pre-clipping done as well, which again is freeing up more time for you. And I think if you're making a profit, you said you're scared to sort of dip into the profit. I think as long as, you know, everybody's making money at the moment, your business is making a profit, I don't think you should worry too much. I think do you know how much it costs for you to keep your salon open every day? Like per hour, how much does it cost you an hour? Okay, so do you know if you're charging appropriately?
No.
How do you work out your price? How much are you for a cockapoo?
30, 35 most.
Okay, so how did you come up with that figure?
Just the groomers in the area, just going from the general kind of.
Classic.
Do you know the ins and outs of their finances? Do you know if they're making money? Do you know what bills they have?
No.
No. So how do you know that they are not making a really, really heavy loss?
I don't.
Yeah. So I think this is what we were saying earlier. I think really you need to break it down and make sure you're charging appropriately, because I mean, I'm not confident enough to say what the market is where you are. You know, I don't know how much like the average prices are and stuff in your location, but for me, I wouldn't touch a cockapoo for £35.
How much do you do a cockapoo for?
They start at 47.
Really?
And that's a starting price. So that would be a dog that comes to me every 4 to 6 weeks, no more than 6 weeks. And
What
it would be a dog that,
a clip down cocker, a short cocker.
well,
What
like
would
7F all off cocker,
Yeah.
47.
Really?
Yeah.
30 here.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not in a particularly affluent area. I know people go Oxford, oh, everyone's loaded in Oxford. They're not. Okay. Like, you know, people don't have that much money around here. But I know how much I can tell you like how much it cost me shampoo to like how much to shampoo a dog. Like that's how into my figures I am. So I know I have to charge these prices.
See, this is why I'm finding this interesting. I love the grooming side of it. I love clipping dogs, all the grooming, but do you see all like how much per day, shampoos? This is the
thing, like I love grooming dogs.
That you need to know.
Yeah, I love grooming dogs. If I could just groom dogs all day, every day, I'd be happy. But in order for me to groom dogs all day, every day and be happy and still be happy doing this in 10 years time, I have to know all of this
going on. Yeah.
So
I think you need to look at your pricing.
Yeah, going back to a cockapoo, and you know, there's two schools of thoughts around this. We charge £48 for the cockapoo, but we then go on to charge £3.95 for the nail trim, £3.95 for the ear clean, and £3.95 for glands. I'm not going into that debate right now.
Do you pluck ears?
Sorry?
Pluck ears?
Yeah, pluck ears.
Yeah.
I'm not going into that debate. And so, you see what I mean? So a full groom on a cockapoo for us, that's £11.85, is £59.85.
And that's for a full groom?
So because we charge £3.95 extra.
It's because you've got the add-ons. Whereas I charge, the way I look at it is a full groom for me is everything the dog needs. So it includes nails, it includes ears, cleaning, plucking, whatever they need. But again, my 47 would be for a cockapoo that is having a 5F all off. If they want a teddy trim. So again, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were saying, oh, well, again, relating back to my 8 dogs a day scenario, they went, oh, well, it must all be clip-offs or shave downs, and I only get breed standards in my salon. And they, you know, I think some people can be a bit snobby about breed standards and clip-offs and that, but the person I was talking to, I said, well, do you charge more for a breed standard? Well, no, I have a Westie price, and if that Westie's having a 4F all off, or they want a breed standard, they're charging the same. If a cockapoo comes into me and they want like a 5F short shave down, it's 47. If they want a long, I don't know, 8 comb teddy trim or whatnot, you're looking at nearer £60 for that. And again, that's coming in every 6 weeks. And if there's matting, I charge for that. If I have to shave out armpits because there's matting, or I have to shave an ear off, they get charged to that. If they come to me, if they go more than 10 weeks in a groom, they get hit with a restyle charge. If they, you know, a cockapoo goes 9 or 10 weeks for me, they get £15 minimum added on top of their groom, before I've even looked at that dog, because for me, that's a restyle.
Yeah.
And you know, you'll I'm sure we'll have people on here that watch this and go, bloody hell, I can't believe you get away with. And that's probably some of the words that we use. I can't believe you get away with charging that much money. Well, actually, we've been going 16 years and we've always been the most expensive groomer in our area. That says something in itself, doesn't it? You know,
it does. And what I was, I was having this exact same conversation this afternoon with my sister. Just because I'm probably one of the most expensive people in my area too, but the way to look at it is, just because you charge more than the others doesn't mean you're expensive. It probably means that everybody else is far too cheap. It doesn't make you expensive. You just know your worth, you know your costs, and that's what you need to charge to, you know, to stay afloat and pay your bills and pay your wages. If other people want to charge less, then either they have less overheads, which is great for them. You know, if they don't physically need to earn quite so much money an hour, then brilliant. But in my experience, that's not the case. It's because they don't fully have a grasp of their costs, and they're charging less because they just don't know what it costs to keep, you know, to keep their businesses going. And even if you don't need to earn £45 an hour, if everybody else is charging £45 an hour, why would you not charge £45 an hour and just have the extra money in your pocket?
So does your bather, is she employed or self-employed? Does she bill you or do you pay her wages? What?
She's employed.
Right. So you're paying her around £16,300 a year by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And then you're getting around £13,000 a year by the looks of it. And your partner the same?
Yep.
And then you have a bit of money left over, which is your profit?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you're a sole trader, aren't you? So
yeah,
you get taxed on that, whatever.
So it's in the business account, but it's almost like the money in the business account you're scared to touch. It's the business money. It's in case of COVID, in case, do you know, it's always the backup for the rent coming out. It's the backup for.
Have you, so a mentor once told me, you know, have your get 6 months worth of business expenses. Is that possible?
Yeah. So you have that saved.
That's your buffer, you know, all goes wrong. You've got 6 months worth of business expenses there to get you out of a poo-poo. All right.
Sorry, I'm just writing this down and so talking.
So you've got your buffer there. You've got your buffer, and that. Oh, where's she gone? And that enables you to make decisions. So you've got that buffer there. You can tuck that away in your savings. You know, you can add a little bit to it if you want to, if you do particularly well one month. But, you know, if you do, you can't, I was going to say, if you're a limited company, you could put extra into a pension because you can do that for tax-free. Maybe we'll explore this next week when we speak to an accountant. But as a sole trader, from what I believe, from our bookkeeping lesson the other day, you're going to be paying tax on it, whatever. So why not take it as a wage and then live a little bit, you know, enjoy a bit, enjoy being self-employed and enjoy working for yourself. And even if you then squirrel that away and have 6 months personal buffer as well, you know, you can put 6 months away on your own personal buffer in case you've got sickness or, you know, and then you've got money aside, and that really helps your mindset to make good decisions.
See, that's it, because it's almost, you're growing to resent it because you're working so hard and you're paying someone else more than what you're, do you know what I mean? More than what you're doing for working.
You know, even if you, do you think you could earn the same as your bather to start with?
Yeah, it's just.
Do it.
Sorry, my son keeps ringing me. He just keeps going. It's just that fear of not having enough.
Being brave, isn't it?
Yeah, I just need to.
As long as you've got that buffer, you know, you've got that 6 months worth of operating expenses, and that can, and if you could turn that into 8 months or 12 months, you know, if that helps your mindset. But once you've got that buffer there, you can then invest in your business. You can upgrade your equipment, or you could pay yourself a bit more wages, or you could.
See, this is the things we've been doing. Instead of taking a bigger wage, we've put down a new floor, we've got better dryers, we've got better tables, we've got a new bath. So the money's being spent, but not
on you.
Spent back into the business, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, once you get to a position where you're happy, then obviously you've got to be happy as well, haven't you?
Exactly.
And I understand. I'm in business with my wife, and I understand the pressures that can also bring to a relationship as well, because it's like, oh, we're not earning.
Completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then working together and living together.
No, that's it. But Laura's so right. Before you put your bather's wage up again, make sure you understand all your costs of your business. And then when you do put there, because they're going to want wage increases at some point, she's going to get better.
Course, yeah.
You know, you then got to make sure you factor that in, maybe into a price increase as well. And then maybe you look at bringing her on as a groomer and then get an apprentice to become a bather.
Yeah.
You know, you're paying an apprentice £4.50 an hour, and you get to a point where they're doing a Labrador where you're charging 45 quid. That's a lovely bit of margin there, isn't it?
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yes, right. I'm going to try and exit this now and carry on watching.
There's no you go on.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Brilliant. There you go. I think I'm going to go and put the kids to bed.
Yeah, I think everyone can go and crack open a Guinness now, can't they?
Oh yes, St. Patrick's Day, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
We'll see you and speak to you all soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.